Shall we begin?
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the More Than Just Keto podcast. I am one of your hosts, Molly.
Hello, friends, and I am your other host, Ashley. And today's episode is about minding your business. Or, like I like to say, keeping your eyes on your own plate. Right?
Love that. Yes.
And it's perfect because, we're diet culture. So, keep your eyes on your own plate.
Food.
Weight loss, food, all the things, right? We've talked about comparison. We've talked about, being on a journey, a lifestyle, a diet. There's so many terms, right? And when you get started, you might hear things like ADF, which is alternate day fasting. And there's OMAD, and there's egg fast and fasting in general, just
intermittent
like
fasting. Yeah.
Intermittent fasting. There's all these like diet terms, and there's all these, what I really think of them as maybe like tools instead of just terms.
Yeah.
Or just extreme things that people do. A lot of times that's what people assume when they first get into this community. They're like, this is crazy. And like, there's all these other things. And it's very easy to get caught into thinking that you may need to do all of these things in order to be in the community or to be keto or to have success on your journey, which is just not really true.
Right. We talked and we talked about that before. Like, don't feel you have to do these things, but it's good to know about them.
Yeah. I think if we use them as tools or use them as a way to help us get over something or get back into the routine of something, I think it's a great tool to have.
Yeah.
But it's not completely necessary to lose weight.
No. Well, like you said, they have their place. Yeah, I know that it's very easy to judge those things because I personally have judged them.
Yeah, me too.
As well as it's very easy to think you have to do it because when I first came in, I thought egg fast. Oh, I got to try an egg fast. Everybody's doing an egg fast. I got to do an egg fast.
It's kind of like the butter coffee, right? Like the butter in the coffee, the bulletproof coffee. It's like, and we talked about that before. You think you like have to eat that way.
Well, because like everything else, when you're first new into something and you don't really know, you're getting to know it. You're getting to know it. And I know when we talked about this before, there's been a lot of time that's passed since then. So we have learned even more since then.
For sure.
That's normal. That's the process. That's how it is, right?
That's the evolution of being on a lifestyle and a journey versus maybe a short-term goal.
Yeah. And in a community where you're learning all these different things from all these different people who do all these different things for all these different reasons.
And isn't it lovely that everyone's such a guinea pig for all of us and shares it on the internet?
Yes.
It is amazing.
So great. It really is great. But can we just like talk about judgment? Because
for sure.
I have been
That's what this episode is about.
Yes, it's all about judgment. And I'm just gonna confess it all here. Okay. Okay.
This is your confessional tonight.
Yes. I'm going to be very specific because as I've shared before, I used to be a part of a community of health and fitness, and we were so anti-keto. It was like, keto? What is that?
Terrible.
Oh, it's horrible. And I quote, I looked up my old posts from back in the day when I used to do that kind of thing. I'm going to share some things that I have actually typed and put out there years ago. And I have
way prior to you ever even know it.
This is 5 years ago. This is 2007. Oh, it's not 5. 4 to 5, 6 years ago. Okay.
Right.
I'm going to quote it because it's very important. I have a reason for this. Okay. I looked it up specifically for this episode because I had to see, because I knew I judged keto, but I didn't know quite.
But you forgot.
Oh, y'all, this is horrible, but there is a point. There's a point. So don't hate me yet. Okay. Here's one of the quotes. I had some words and then I said, with keto, it's recommended 20 carbs or less. In my opinion, that is insane. Yes, I said, yes, you'll lose weight, but can you keep it off? Not likely.
Ooh,
I know.
spicy.
But I have more. 2 reasons. I don't recommend keto as if I'm an authority. As if I have a say so, right? But I don't recommend keto. It's not something, you ready? You ready for this word? It's not
Love
something
it.
that is sustainable. Sustainable. That flipping word. I am so sick of hearing that word. I get so mad when I hear it now and I think,
It is
I'm
like
going, dang,
it is
Molly.
like the throat punch of like people coming for keto. It's not
Yes,
sustainable.
it's
And
not
it's like
sustainable.
karate chop. It's not
Right?
sustainable.
Right.
It's so
So
intense.
I said it, me
Yeah.
who loves keto now, right? There is a point to this.
That's
Remember,
so
there's a point.
crazy.
It's not something that's sustainable for a lifetime. Then I say, gosh, I'm kind of ashamed. Then I say, it's just, it's just another fad diet. Get your yo,
Ooh.
get your yo-yo ready. Get your yo-yo ready. Boy, was I judgy.
Ooh. She came out with knives, y'all. She was ready to fight.
I have one more.
What did keto ever do to you
I
back then?
know, right? I'm telling you, I was horrible. I say, you do not, all bold, by the way, you do not get the nutrients your body needs with a keto plan. And then I say, I have to clear something up. I have to clear something up because some may have misunderstood. What I have been doing is not all caps, the keto diet, all caps. I am one who does not all caps believe in the keto diet, and I do not recommend it. I do, however, believe in a healthy living and lifestyle. I also believe in portion control and balance.
I believe in containers
They're
and
red and yellow
balance.
and green. But I do not do keto. I don't think 20 net carbs is sustainable or realistic, and it doesn't allow for healthy eating. It's more of a get skinny plan as opposed to a get healthy plan. Bam. That is all my judgment a few years
How do you
ago.
feel like looking at
I
your former
feel
self in the
okay.
mirror?
Listen, I think, wow. So when I see all these other people saying stuff like this, I think they're really clueless. The reason they're saying all this is because that's what they heard, because that's what I heard. I had no experience. I hadn't done it
Yeah,
myself. I hadn't
right.
done the
This isn't
research,
coming from a place of knowledge. This is
not
coming
at
from a
all.
place of
Judgment and
hearsay and
opinion
judgment.
and hearsay and
Yeah.
regurgitating the same thing that other, it's basically, what is that game called? Someone says it,
The
they pass it
telephone
on to some, they
game.
pass it. And we all just said, oh, keto is bad. Keto is not sustainable.
Think of
Keto
it
is
like
unhealthy.
saying, what if you went to someone and said, Whole30 is terrible for you?
Well, I would never do that now.
Whole30,
I
right?
don't even know what that is.
It's like there's specific meal, Whole Foods. It's Whole Foods only.
Okay.
That's like telling somebody who's had amazing success and who's gone to the doctor and they've done this Whole30 and they are eating Whole Foods only, no processed foods, no, just
Oh, I
clean
know.
foods and
It's like,
clean eating,
yeah,
that's not sustainable.
right, right. For them,
Keto is really not that much different than doing a whole food diet. It is mostly the
right.
way I do it, a whole
I was
food
going to
diet,
say the
right?
way some people, right,
So just because it's gotten this label and has a name, it creates hate. But
yeah,
also, I can't help but feel like because it does work, because so many of us are displaying early signs of insulin resistance because of the way we've eaten for so long. And
right,
because it can be an unlocking moment for a lot of people who have struggled so hard with weight, who've done all those other diets and never had success. They do keto and all of a sudden like, oh yeah, I lost 70 pounds. Like, it's like, cause you
right.
found what works for you. That's one of the biggest problems that I have with the health and fitness world
Mm-hmm.
is that we're not thinking about the individual. We just want to tell everybody what they should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody should just do the same thing. Everybody should just eat whole foods, stop binge eating, stop emotionally, just stop doing it.
Right,
That's like telling somebody with anxiety not to worry about it.
right. It's going to be okay. Don't
It's
overreact.
absolute insanity that one diet would work for anyone.
Right.
And
Yet people
all the nutritionists
continual,
that you see,
mhm, they say the
intuitive
same
eating, whole
thing.
foods, limit process, limit sugar, but it's like every single person, and we've talked about this before, can do the same diet and none of us will be the same.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And some people will have wonderful success just taking out soda. And some of us will see no results from that because it's
Right.
not enough, because we're still eating things that are causing inflammation in the body. And that's not what we're just not addressing that in the regular health and fitness world.
Oh, right. Definitely not. And I think that's the biggest thing that I find that they are missing when it comes to keto. I think what you said is right because it has a name. They're like, they
And
call
they have
they
associated that name with pictures
evil.
or an idea of that
Yeah.
everything's wrapped in cheese and that all we do is
Oh, I
eat
know.
bacon by the
It's
pound. And it's like,
oh God.
that
I
is
get so
a,
annoyed.
that's being made fun of. Do we have those things? Yes. Most of us do not eat
Well,
an abundance of those things.
maybe it's kind of like what we do. Let's like what we do about them and their dry chicken and their broccoli. Like not every health person eats dried
For
chicken and
sure.
broccoli, but
For
we
sure.
definitely have sweeping generalization and did that. That's how
For
they do our
sure.
butter coffee or bacon. Maybe we all just stop that. Okay. If you
Yeah.
want your
Well, it's
dry
all
chicken and
coming
broccoli,
like,
eat your dry chicken and
well,
broccoli.
it's all coming from a place of judgment.
Judgment. Yeah.
And that's what we're saying is that in order for us to find what works for us, we have to stop
Stop the
doing
judging.
that. We have
Yes.
to stop listening to it as well. You
Right.
have to take these people's factual information as an opinion, and
Yeah.
it has to apply to each person differently. Like whatever
Absolutely.
they're saying is meant for someone. I'm not saying they're not right. I'm saying they're not right for me.
Right.
That's not your advice doesn't work for me because I've done it and it never worked.
So you can't
And
say that because you're experiencing it. You've done it. You know you're healthy.
right,
You know the success you've had in your physical being as far as your
right,
weight, as far as your health,
for sure.
lifestyle.
So
Like,
I'm not saying that those nutritionists are completely wrong. What I'm saying is they're wrong for me.
yet they want to keep doing it as a sweeping generalization, though. They
Right,
still want to keep it like
right,
one box blanket
right.
policy. Like,
And
it's
that's
like,
what, and that's why it's like you cannot listen to that, but you also don't want to create that. You don't want to tell
right,
people that this is the only way to eat.
right.
It's
Because it's not
not the
right.
only way to eat.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that we're right and other people are wrong. This is, hey, have you tried all of these other things? Have you looked into your health with your doctor?
Yeah.
Maybe there's some indicators here that your body has got some inflammation and it might be triggered by excess carbs and excess sugar.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a real
So
thing. And there are
it's a
plenty of
real thing. It
there are
is
plenty of medical doctors now who are coming out and saying these
recognizing
things.
that.
And I'm
Mhm.
so glad to see that. I'm hoping that the nutritionists, dietitians will realize this
Lose
as
their
well.
judgment. Me
Huh.
too. Lose
Stop
their
their
judgment
yes.
because our doctors and our physicians also have some judgment against it too. So it's
Yes, there
funny
are
how it permeates within our community, but also our professionals.
yeah, but a lot of them lack knowledge. It's like this. A
Yeah, for
doctor who is a
sure.
brain surgeon knows the in and outs of a brain, but he doesn't know the in and outs of a woman's gynecology, the
Right.
he
Right.
the gynecologist knows all the woman's, he's the specialized. So you can't expect the brain surgeon to be able to do the gynecologist work. Okay, so
For
bear with me here. I'm
sure.
making a point. So just because someone's a medical doctor doesn't mean they have any education in nutrition or understanding or having this open mind that, oh, perhaps maybe the way we're eating is causing these diseases and these problems that we're having. He's not
For sure.
necessarily educated in that, or he hasn't, opened his mind to think that. He's just thinking sick, medicine, take care of
Right.
them, sick, medicine. So just because they're a doctor doesn't mean that they know
For
what's
sure.
right and wrong when it comes to, let's say, keto, for example. But I have to say this about the keto. I was clueless, yet I spoke as if I knew what I was talking about.
I mean, I did the same thing.
And
Maybe not posting about it, but yes.
but I didn't do it because I was mean or because I was
Right.
trying to for any other reason. So if I did it and you did it, think about all the
I mean,
other
I
people
called
that
my
do
mom
it.
crazy. I've told that story about how I was like, you're
Yes.
nuts.
Right, right,
I was
right,
like, I can never do this. Like, this is not normal. People shouldn't eat like this. I mean, you talk about judgment.
right.
I've
Of your
raised my
own
hand
mama,
too. I did the same
girl.
thing because when you don't understand something, when you
Right,
have not done the research, you don't have the knowledge,
right,
when you don't understand something, you're very quick to make a judgment instead of make a comment based on the facts that you've learned.
right.
And maybe understand it in a different way of how it can be helpful.
Right. I agree. Well, can I redeem myself just a little bit of all my judgment of keto? Okay.
Are
First of
you
all,
getting on to and telling everybody on Facebook that you were wrong? You're going to post it and tell
yeah, I
them? I'm
don't
just
go to
kidding.
Facebook now.
I'm kidding.
No. I know. But no. Um, no, I was just going to say, I was definitely not the person then that I am now, in the sense of now you won't find me judging someone else's ways, whether it be their way of eating, whether it be their lifestyle, whether it be their faith, whatever it is. Everybody
Yeah,
has their own. I have learned, if I don't want people to judge my way, then why in the heck am I thinking it's okay that I judge their way? It's kind of hypocritical, don't you think?
for sure.
So
And
I
that's the
don't
whole
want to be a
reason.
hypocrite anymore. So I learned my lesson. Okay, that's what I wanted to say. And I'm so sorry to the keto community. Y'all are the best there. Okay.
Well, you didn't know, so it's okay.
No, but here's the thing. I was foolish to speak out. And that's harsh, but it's true. When you speak out what you don't know, you're kind of being a fool. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's a good lesson to learn. I mean, I learned the
Yeah.
same one. Like I said, I've commented on how crazy I thought my mom was. And I just was like, this is not sustainable. Nobody can do this long term. How
Right.
could you possibly eat this way? How can you give up all of these things? How can you sacrifice, sacrifice, sacrifice?
Okay, now that all the confessions are out of the way, let's move on. Let's move on to some other things that we maybe ourselves have been quick to judge or that we've seen out there. There are lots of different things, like we discussed, and there is a time for them. And it's up to each individual person as to what they want to try to do. When I say that, I'm referring to like OMAD and intermittent fasting, egg fast. This is what I'm
Yeah,
talking
we
about.
dropped a bunch of
Yeah,
names
we
of
threw a lot of terms out, but
common
like you said,
terms.
tools.
Yeah.
I like that. It's tools to use at
Yeah.
different times. And there was a time last year that Ashley and I both tried something we
This
thought,
time, actually, last year
yes, we're like, oh, that would be kind of neat.
for
Let's
November.
try this. And it was called ADF, alternate day fasting. And if you don't know what that is, just to give you a short summary, you eat about 500 calories one day. And
Yeah,
then
it's a portion of your total. There's a breakdown that you can
mhm,
actually calculate.
you can Google it.
But yeah, and it ends up being, if the average diet is 2000, it ends up being about 500. So if that's, where you're at,
Still
then
calculates for the week that you were in a
right.
calorie
So
deficit,
it
but you're
is
breaking up
the
your
same
calories.
deficit as you would have daily, but it's broken up differently
Mhm.
to create a shortage and then what they would consider a refeed, which is where you just eat naturally. And it's supposed to give the body a break when you're eating that 500 calories and also
Mhm.
jumpstart your metabolism, because that is such a yin and yang. You're
Right.
going
It
from
has a
very little
purpose.
food,
Right.
right, to a lot more food. And I mean, I did have some success. For me, I never like, when we talked about doing this, I was like, I don't know if I can do it. Like,
Yeah, I remember. Mhm.
it was definitely very challenging mentally to do something like this. And we had seen so many people in the community doing it. There were books, there were some recipes to help you get through. And yeah, we both attempted that for
Yeah,
about a month.
there was a buzz about it going around our community, and so we
Yeah.
tried it, and we also had just started trying out TikToks. And so Ashley
Yes.
made this really funny TikTok with a very trending sound. And it got so much attention, like a lot of attention. And some of it was negative. And
A
it's
lot of it was
a
negative.
lot of it was negative. But tell us what the video, what was your
So it was
concept,
a reel, and
Ashley?
then we also put it on TikTok, but the the
Oh yeah, it was
concept
a
of
reel.
it
That's right.
was that I was doing ADF and I was making fun of the day that you have the smaller amount of calories is like all you do is dream about the day where you get to refeed. And I said that in
Yeah.
quotations. And
Yeah.
once again, I should mention this isn't something that you do forever. This is
Yes, it's
literally something that you
temporary a
work
thing.
in,
Yeah.
like I said, as a tool. So I made a reel of like how miserable that day is because you want to eat all the things, but you can't, sort of. And there was so much, oh, I cannot believe this. This is not healthy. And I put ADF on there, but I realized a lot of
I
people
didn't know.
had no idea
They
what that
called,
was. And
yeah,
they
there was
were
like eating
so quick.
disorder. They
Yeah,
were
this
just,
is how eating disorders start. I mean, they came for me in the
they
comments.
were
They came
not
for me.
nice. They were not nice,
Um,
but they had no knowledge of what it was
they
you
had
were
no
doing.
idea.
And
So
they
they
made a
judged me based
judgment.
on, right. They've judged me based on just seeing the reel itself and not on actually like who I am, what I was doing. I had
Right.
explanations and posts that I was doing when I was showing food. I was
But let's
sharing on my stories.
but
Nobody knew any of that.
right, but let's just let's just call it okay, let's just say, why do people even think that they have the privilege to speak about what you're doing? If you put it out there, this is your joke, this is your fun, and people that knew what
Yeah.
ADF
And that's
was
really
would
what it
know
was.
it was a
It
joke.
was an exaggeration. I really wasn't suffering
Not
on
at
those
all. But then
500
people
days or I
still
wouldn't have
feel,
done it.
and then
Yeah.
people still feel the need to say, oh, look what you're doing. It's like, why are you judging Ashley for her video when there's so much behind it, but you don't know? But that's what people, myself,
Right.
I've done it, are quick to do, to make a judgment and then
Well, I
even
mean,
talk about it and even tell them,
right.
well, you're wrong with what you're doing.
And I can give another example of this, right? Like I see people do egg fasts, right?
Mhm.
And I think to myself, oh my, I
You
don't know
hate
how these
eggs.
people. So I don't eat eggs. Fun spoiler alert, I don't eat eggs. I don't eat eggs of any sort. I'll eat it cooked into something or like, but I don't like them. I don't like the texture of them. I just don't like the sulfury. No, there's just nothing about an egg that I
Sorry.
like. No, no, no. It's funky to me. I don't know why.
That's
So when
something.
I see people doing an egg fast, I'm like,
You're
oh my gosh.
gross.
How could you eat nothing but eggs for a week? What is wrong with you people? Like, of course, that's, in my mind. And especially in the beginning, now I'm like, I don't eat eggs, but I'm not going to say I'm never going to do that because there's a lot of times I've said I'm never going
Funny.
to do that.
Right.
And here I am
Doing it.
ADFing it up. I'm
Keto.
now doing keto. Yeah, I do keto first and foremost. OMAD is something that I've done for so long,
Yes. Okay. OMAD. Let's talk
right?
about that. Let's talk about OMAD. Judgment. Me. 2 years ago, I saw it swimming around in our community. This OMAD, tomato, whatever. I was like, what is OMAD? So I look it up, 1 meal a day. I was like, who does that? That's weird. 1 meal? What is wrong with you? I
People at work
totally
say that to me
judged.
still. Like, what is wrong with you?
I totally judged, not knowing anything about it, not understanding the benefits of it.
In the
And
process, let alone it's
right,
not something you
right,
just do, wake up and I'm
exactly.
just gonna eat 1 meal a day from now
Isn't
on. It
something
doesn't work
how
like that.
we right? Isn't it something how we we take certain things and we prepare and we do our studies and we do all the
Yeah.
things and then we go for it. But then something's like, what is
No,
that? Let's
that's
just try
crazy.
it. Okay.
Yeah. Or you're just like, oh, that's crazy. I'm never doing that. And
Or
then
that's crazy.
sometimes,
I'm never doing it. Right.
it's funny.
It is insane. And you benefit greatly from OMAD. You really like doing it.
Yeah. It's a convenience issue for me, eating, being a working mom, doing the podcast, like there's so many things, right? Kids are in school. There's so many things. So for me, when I've shared this progression of when I started, it was like snacks and all three meals. And it
Yeah.
was, trying to satisfy the hunger that comes from detoxing from
Yeah.
carbs and sugar. Your body's just like, we are not doing this. Feed me. Like, no, I'm really serious. You better have a snack on deck. You're going to want to eat your hand, And so, um, I had, dabbled in some intermittent fasting and I realized like, okay, I don't really need X, Y, and Z, right? This
Hmm.
snack or this meal.
Hmm.
I can add more to this one meal and I can eliminate that completely. But it was not something that happened over time. And I've shared the story on my page, but OMAD was something that happened over a long period of time that
Yeah.
I did not aim to do, but I did aim to nip my snacking because I had done a lot of research on intermittent fasting and how giving your body a break from digesting food
Hmm.
is keeping your insulin from spiking over and
Hmm.
over and over again. Every time we eat, our insulin spikes. So I knew that ketone production would be higher because I wouldn't be eating and digesting and I wouldn't be having these insulin spikes. So I knew because I had practiced intermittent fasting before I did OMAD,
Hmm.
the benefits of intermittent fasting were something that I wanted to hold on to,
Hmm.
but I wanted to do it um, in less of a time. I felt like I'm still eating quite a bit, like hours wise. So I just eventually, and this is something that you'll find on keto when people are like, you're just not hungry.
Right. Right.
The feeling full and being satiated over time becomes a major thing. Like it to the point now where when I eat that meal, I am full until I go to bed. I
Mm.
just physically do not crave to eat more food. So I'm not just going to eat another meal because society says so.
Right, right. Who said
So
breakfast,
that's
lunch, dinner,
where,
snack, snack? Yeah.
right. So that's where I started tailoring. Okay. And now, so I don't do OMAD. I don't do anything forever. I always am changing. And this is why I say that these things are tools, because
Yeah.
there are times where you may need to change what you're doing, because just like going to the gym and walking the same amount every single day stops giving you results, because your body adapts to that challenge and it's no longer a challenge.
To respond to what you were just saying, I did finally try that OMAD. And the thing that I can never say OMAD, OMAD, I feel so dumb that I don't know what OMAD there.
Oh, mad.
What I,
Oh, you mad? No,
oh,
I'm
you
just
mean,
kidding.
yes, because I haven't eaten but one meal today.
That's terrible. That's what people think. You're playing right on along into it. Listen here.
so, what, so what happened was I tried it. And I'll tell you what I really liked about it. You didn't think about food. Like it just
No.
took that away, which was nice. Like you
Yeah.
didn't have
It
to
gives you a
think about
break.
it. It really does give you a break. I
Yeah.
didn't continue, but like Ashley said, it's not something that you have, any of these, you don't have to do them forever. They're all,
Yeah.
some
It's good to
people,
change it up.
yeah, some people do OMAD longer than others. And some people
Yeah.
just do it, once a week or you were telling me about like, well, you could just do it on the weekend if you wanted to try, or, something like
Yeah.
that,
Whenever
whatever
it
you
is
want it to be.
convenient to you, when it feels
Right.
natural to do something, that is when you should promote it within yourself. So,
Right.
like when people, and I'll give you an example, like when people are going on vacation and let's say they stay low carb, but not keto, and they get back and they're like, I just feel a little
Yeah.
not myself. I want to do something that puts me back in my, whatever. This is where you might see the egg fast. This is
Right.
where you might see a challenge.
Mhm, mhm.
There's nothing wrong with using those as tools, but
Right.
oftentimes we judge others thinking like, they're doing another challenge. Oh, you have to do that to lose weight. That's not necessarily true. Somebody
Right.
can use it as a stepping stone. And I highly encourage it, because your body
Mhm.
does become extremely adapted to what you're doing. So if you do the same thing all the time, you're going to stop seeing results. At some
Mhm.
point, that scale and your body's going to say, we know this game.
Right.
We're not changing. You better step it up a little bit, And it's
Yeah.
why I don't do OMAD all the time. Sometimes I do it on the weekend. Sometimes I do it during the weekday. And then on vacations, I don't do it at all. Give my
Right.
body that
Right.
pause.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think that there's a lot of different things that you can do. Um, especially if you're plateauing or, you know, stalling.
Yeah. So the moral of the story is never say never.
Keep your eyes on your own plate. Try
Right.
to live a judgment-free zone. I know that can be really difficult,
But
but
it
trying to,
feels so much better though, doesn't it?
yeah, trying
It's
to come
like,
from a place of understanding, or just saying, yeah, I don't get this, but not
but that's
being
okay.
quick to attack someone or judge someone,
Right.
can leave you open to things in the future as well.
Yeah. Always remember you never know what the other person, what their motive is, what their reasoning is. And honestly, it's not your business. Let's just be honest. It's not our
Yeah.
business what
And
other people are doing.
you never know how you're going to evolve and change. The goal
And
is
you
to always
never
be
know.
evolving and changing, right?
Yes.
And as
Yes.
that happens, sometimes we're open to things that we would have never thought, one, were possible, or two, we would entertain.
And that's a good
And
thing.
that is a sign of growth. That is a
Yes.
great thing, that you
Mhm.
are more open as you become more comfortable and evolve into the person that you're becoming.
Yes. Oh, yes. And we love that. So that's it, honey. That is it. We aren't judging, okay? No judgment. No judgment zone.
No judge, a free judgment free zone.
Judgment free zone. We thank you so much for listening as always. And we love you as always. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us today. You can find and connect with us over on Instagram at More Than Just Keto. Don't forget to subscribe so that you never miss out on the fun. We'll see you next time.